14th, 1912, the world witnessed one of the darkest realities in human history. A ship that was celebrated as unsinkable sank into the freezing Atlantic Ocean, taking with it over 1,500 lives. The Titanic was not just a ship, it was a floating symbol of pride, wealth, and ambition. But beneath the glamour, behind the chandeliers and luxury suites, lay a chilling truth, a story of arrogance, inequality, and unpreparedness. The RMS Titanic was built as a masterpiece of engineering and luxury, a vessel that newspapers described as a floating palace. It had Turkish baths, a swimming pool, a gymnasium, and dining halls that resembled royal courts. The first-class passengers enjoyed the finest food, music, and service, while second and third-class passengers were promised comfort far beyond their normal means. But the grandeur was a dangerous illusion. The ship carried only 20 lifeboats, enough for barely half the people on board. Yet the company claimed it was sufficient. Titanic was branded unsinkable, and that arrogance sealed its fate on April 14th. Warnings of icebergs poured in throughout the day. Wireless operators tapped out urgent messages, but some were ignored. Some never reached the bridge, and some were set aside because the ship was racing for headlines. White Star Line wanted to prove not only luxury, but speed. They wanted Titanic to arrive in New York ahead of schedule to stun the world with its glory at 11:40 p.m. The iceberg appeared too late for the lookouts, Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee, who had no binoculars to see further ahead. The ship struck the iceberg, tearing open 6 compartments, and the unsinkable ship had less than 3 hours to live. Chaos unfolded on deck. Passengers in first class were calmly told to put on coats and head to lifeboats. Many refused at first, unable to believe the ship could sink. Some joked, some lingered over drinks and music. While in third class, panic reigned, locked behind gates. Many families never even reached the lifeboats, their path blocked by crew who feared overcrowding. It was not just a sinking. It was the cruel exposure of a divided society, and when the lifeboats were launched, the tragedy deepened. Boat after boat left half empty. Lifeboat number 1, with space for 65, carried only 28, because the wealthy desired space and comfort, while hundreds below screamed in desperation. Women and children first was shouted, yet the rule was applied unequally. First-class women and children were given priority, while many from steerage never stood a chance. The band played on hymns drifting across the freezing night as mothers clutched children, husbands begged officers for mercy, and crew struggled to maintain order. But the truth was impossible to ignore. Titanic was dying, and so were most of the souls aboard.